What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast with myself. You see my name right over there. And of course, the brains and brawn of the situation. Coach Santa is in the building. And we are back. And before we start the show, well, first, let me just ask Coach. I like to ask my people how they been. So I'll do that. Coach, how you been?
Well, as you can tell by the sound of my voice, a little under the weather, just slightly, between yelling at adults, children's to play better baseball, and yelling at them to be good human beings. Now they're fine. They're fine. Yeah, just coming off of a really bad cold that I caught. I want to say like last Friday, and then had to go down to Richmond, Virginia for the Dirtbags' first tournament, and had to ride back Sunday night and called out of work, and yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better than I sound, but yeah.
Yeah, you sound rough. I'm just
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
sound a little bit rough. Well, I hope you feel better. Take care of yourself. Get your ashwagandha and your lemon balm and all that good stuff. All that.
I
all
like
that
ashwagandha. I dated her in high school.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I heard about that.
short chick from Fern Rock.
But I want to talk about real quick. I want to talk about last week because I thought last week was terrible but funny at the same time. Right?
It was. Did you actually go back and watch it?
No, but I'm going to. I'm going to go back and watch it. So last week we were getting ready to start the show on Tuesday night, and as we usually do. And what happened first? I believe.
So
No. We didn't start the show.
Not on Tuesday.
Not on Tuesday because I did something over here and I hit something and everything just went berserk over here. All right, everything on mine just I don't know what happened. I tried to restart the computer. Nothing. It just would not work out. Nothing worked out. All right, so we had to scratch Tuesday. Said, you know what? Let's just try tomorrow night, Wednesday. We was like, all right, cool, we'll do it. So, now mind you, let me just backtrack a little bit. Before those issues happened, Coach Santa had issues that he had to work out and got those worked out, and everything was good to go. So now we fast forward back up to Wednesday. And Wednesday, I believe we got on. Everything was good. Everything was working great. We was ready to start the show, and some of y'all might even saw we started the show, right? And then when we started the show, and then Coach Santa had some issues with, I believe, his sound. He couldn't hear me, or I know I couldn't hear him. But whatever the case was, we could not communicate effectively enough to do the show at the time. So he had to restart his situation, and once he started to restart his situation, if you were on, I was talking to you about what was going to be on the show. We had a lot of things going. The Phillies had just got swept by the Brewers. We were going to talk about that, but they had just won a game against Toronto. So it was like, should we really talk about this? So anyway, you can go back and see it. I'm gonna leave it up for a few more hours so y'all can check that out. Anyway, Coach Santa comes back. We good to go. We rocking and rolling. I asked Coach Santa a question. He starts to answer. And what happens, Coach Santa? My power goes out in the entire neighborhood. It wasn't raining. There was no storm. I don't know. I don't know. But the power goes out in the whole neighborhood. I was like, you know what? There is something that just does not want us to do the show tonight. And I'm talking about last week. But yet here we are now. Thank you for bearing with the story. Here we are. Coach Miguel, Coach Santa, and I are back for yet another Tuesday. You can still hear me, right, Coach?
Loud and clear. You can
All
still
right,
hear me, right?
Glad to hear it. Even though I got you remember how back in the day, older people were like, oh, you're a pain in the neck. I have a pain in my neck. And I want to
Why,
apologize to every person that ever called me a pain in the neck.
why don't you tell the folks watching at home what the apparatus is that you're using on your neck?
Oh, this is a neck massager. I don't know. It's helping me loosen up a little bit, I guess. So you'll see me wearing this today, but when you become of a certain age, things start happening. You don't know why. People that are of that certain age and above, they know that already. So you know what I'm talking about. But coach,
Yep.
we got some things to get through today. We got some Phillies news, NBA finals, some things, and we got a lot of videos to share with y'all today. We got a lot of videos and images to share with y'all today. So kind of want to go ahead and get into it, but we're going to talk real quick. You mentioned earlier that you were in a tournament. So do you want to tell us about the tournament? You said you were yelling at adult kids to play better, and you got chili and
Yeah. So no. So the Dirtbags 15U, we wound up going down to PBR in Richmond. Um, so keep in mind we only had 2 practices. Okay, we've only had 2 practices, and then we go right into the summer season. The reason why is because the first, I want to say, 4 practices we were supposed to have all got rained out, like literally just rained for like weeks. Friday night we had a practice. We looked sloppy. We looked like garbage, to be perfectly honest with you. But um, we showed out. The record doesn't say we wound up not making the playoffs. We wound up being 1-2. But in game 1, it was a pitching duel for 3 or 4 innings. We wound up winning 6-1. Um, the second game we wound up losing 3-0, but we lost in the last inning. We kind of just got outlasted. It's one of those things we kind of like the Phillies, like we can get on base, but we're not bringing guys home. But what I will say is the guys did fight hard this weekend. They had great at bats. Like I didn't see a lot of Ks. There were a lot of, and even if there was a K, it was after fouling off like 6 or 7 pitches. And I believe the stat that my beautiful statistician from the Lindsley family, he's the my catcher's dad. He does the Matt. He does the game changer for me. I
shout
believe.
out to Matt Lindsley.
Yo, and he compiled some stats. So the biggest thing was 71% of our bats were quality ABs. So we're seeing a lot of pitches. They're battling. And I just want to shout out a couple of at bats up here if I can present. How do I present to my screen?
It's the same way. You hit the
So
present button down at the bottom where it says, where the camera, all the functions are, invite, leave studio. Do you see that?
all right, you do it. Let me stop screen. Okay. Present. Share screen.
There you go.
That's the screen I want to share.
There you go. Come on,
Where's
bring it home.
where's the stage? I want to put it on the stage. Which one is it?
Oh Lord. Is this it? What is it?
Present or invite?
Talking about this here?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I can't see that. It's a freaking image. Okay. Anyway, these are some of the at-bats that kind of came through. This is Griff Wadley. In the pins, this is Dixon. We call him Martin. Griffin Wiley again, Apo Taco. This is Ashton Greenberg. He also pitched, I believe, 5 scoreless innings. This is Luke Stapleton, Philly native. He also runs cross country for his
Philly
school,
native
and
from Levittown.
I believe so. Yeah, and he runs cross country for his school, and it is pretty damn good. This might be him again. I think these are repeats. 13. Yeah. Okay. So that's it.
All right. Well, shout out to the Dirtbags down at the Mid Atlantic Open. You said
So this weekend we are up in Harrisburg for another event. We play at 9:15 and 11:15, back to backs, like I like it.
okay. All
So,
right.
but yeah,
All right.
we're looking good. In spite of all the few practices, we look good. And
You'll
as you
have
saw,
to you have to let me know when you guys are back in this area again, and I'll try not to have COVID this time.
yeah, please, yeah. The week of July 12th, we'll be up in MSI.
And that's too bad. I will probably not be in town.
Fantastic.
I might be in Hampton, Virginia.
All right, so we'll see you in the fall.
All righty. All righty. Shout out to you if you just tuned into the Check Swing podcast. We are just getting started here. We got a lot of things to talk about. But before we get into those things, I want you to go ahead and let your friends know that you're checking us out here on New Twist Radio. And you can hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, whatever the case may be. It helps us out, and lets all your people know that you are here with us. And let's make this a family affair. Let's have some fun, because we're gonna have some fun today. But we gotta talk about the Phillies.
Do we have
Not too much fun lately. Outside of what they did last night, not too much fun. I'm just gonna run through it real quick. Harper's on the IR. Didn't want to go on the IR in the first place, but now he's there. You wanted to say something, Miguel?
No. I'm saying whoop-de-doo.
Nola out 2 more weeks, stress fracture or stress reaction to his rib. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Coach Sando over there is like pleasantly happy about it.
Addition by subtraction, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. That's what it feels like. Too much of a that subtraction costs too much though. So they're gonna multiply, divide, and pie or something. They're gonna do something. They gotta make something happen, because there's too much money being put out there. Real quick, let's talk Trey Turner. Should he go to the outfield? He's obviously hurting the team at shortstop. Shortstop. A lot of people say shortstop is your most important infield position. I like to say it's first base, but I understand why they say it's shortstop, because a lot of times you put your best athlete at short. Why do I say it's first base? Because where a majority of the outs happen.
I mean,
at first base. That person got to be able to catch. You know what can happen if a first baseman can't catch. You can't get outs on ground balls in the infield. It means long innings.
True.
Long games. Okay. We know this. I had said last year, Miguel, or maybe I said in the beginning of this year, but I feel like I said last year, why not put Trey Turner in center field when they were kind of having that whole situation in center field?
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, why not put Trey Turner in center field? And if I remember correctly, you wasn't feeling that too much at that time.
No, to the contrary. The issue was that the shorts they don't have any shortstops. Or at the time they had 2 shortstops that were like 18 and 19, and the Phillies never have a history of bringing up somebody that young. They wound up trading the one guy that I like, Sterling Caba. He got traded for Luzardo. So we're back to square one, where we don't really have a number 1 shortstop or a good shortstop in the minor leagues.
Here's my issue with that though. 2 years ago, the Phillies went to the World Series with Bryson Stott playing short.
Right, and you had a hitter and a defensive player in Segura at second.
Yeah, So, but what I'm saying is, so are you saying that we won't have anybody for second base if you move Stott over
I
to
would
short?
I would not put Stott at short. I mean,
For what reason?
range wise and arm wise, I think he's better suited for second base. I don't think he's. I didn't think he was that. He was a serviceable shortstop. Didn't make a lot of errors, but doesn't have the same range as Turner. But the problem is Turner has the range, but he boots the ball a lot.
Who would you rather have at short? Take the name. Take Trey Turner off.
I
Take
would call
Stott
Segura
off.
out of. I would call Segura and tell him to come out of retirement.
Come on, stop doing that. Stop doing that. You doing that dance around politician thing. Take the names off the jerseys, right? Just take the skill set or the lack thereof of the
Oh, I
two
know who.
guys.
Okay,
Which one would you rather have?
I put Sosa there.
Here we go again.
I'm not. He started out as a shortstop.
I'm putting Sosa at second base if I'm moving Stott over the
No,
short.
I'll put it because Sosa
But
has the
that's not what
speed.
I'm asking you. See, you keep
No, you asked me who
dancing.
I would. You asked
No,
me
no, no,
who
no,
I
no,
would
no, no,
put.
no. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you who. I'm asking you of the two skill sets of the two guys. I'm saying take the
Oh,
names
okay,
off the
okay. I
jerseys.
got you. I got you.
The
I got
two
you.
skill sets of the guys. Which one would you rather have playing shortstop for you?
If those two are my choices, then yeah, I'd go with Stott. If those are my
You
only
want to
choices,
stop?
yeah.
Yeah. That's all I was asking you. You watch too much CNN and Fox News. You dancing around. You down there in that area now. You dancing around questions now.
To the contrary, sir, I watch a lot of documentaries, and I know who killed JFK in the grassy knoll.
Well, here's the thing: you're closer to DC now than you were when you lived up here. So that skill set of dancing around the question absorbs into you. The further away you get from the area, the worse you get at it. But you're closer now. So you
They
get better.
don't. They don't dance around questions down here. They dance, but they don't dance around the questions.
Well, when we see them up here on shows, they dancing. They dancing, Louise. They dancing. Mick Abel, real quick, what you think about him?
I like him. The night that we had the technical issues was the night of his second start, and I believe he went another six, seven.
Which night of our technical issues?
The Wednesday night. He went. I think
2 nights of technical issues.
Yeah, it was the second night, but he went 6 or 7 innings and still only gave up like 1 or 2 runs. He's solid, and not a lot of Ks his second time around, but because he had fewer runs, leads me to believe that he knows how to pitch. You know what I mean? Kind of like my guys this weekend. Like my one guy, he had 6 walks. Ashton, he had 6 walks, so he got himself in a lot of jams. And I think we loaded the bases like 3 times, but he still didn't give up any runs. So kudos to him for getting out of the situation because he knows how to pitch out of jams. You know what I mean? So kudos to him.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about Mick Abel. And I have not seen one pitch from Mick Abel yet. Not even a highlight. I haven't even seen a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, and the reason I don't watch TV much anymore. Like I will watch a game or something like that, but if I don't catch the game live, I may not see the highlight of it. Okay. All I'm saying, I'm not doubting his skill or anything, because like I said, I haven't seen him. I don't know. Talk to me about him in August.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about him in August. What's 2 starts, 3 starts now? 2 or 3 starts?
2
starts. I remember some guys that first few starts, first 3, 4, 5 starts, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Then then the tape was out on him. But then you got a guy like Kerry Wood. I remember his first few starts, if I remember correct, close to no hitters in perfect games, and he ended up having a great career. So it can be one.
I wouldn't say
right.
great career. He was.
Right. He ended up being a very effective pitcher and had a decent career.
He could have been great had it not been. He was injury prone. Him and Mark Pryor, they were a great 1-2 punch for like 3 years, and they both had arm trouble. So
And when I mean great career, I shouldn't have said great career because that implies that he was like a Hall of Fame, like a great player. I just mean that he lasted a long time in the league, was
yeah,
able to get jobs in the league, and wasn't really a bum.
touche.
Wasn't really a bum. So yeah, holla at me in August. Let's talk about him in August. After he's been around a month, been around the league a little bit, has some tape on him, see how he adjusts to that.
Well, what do you like? Do you like the fact that now Walker is pretty much stayed? He's staying in the bullpen.
Do I like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that they didn't want him starting games, right? You have a guy in Mick Abel and
Mhm.
Andrew Painter everybody's talking about he's coming up later. You had you bring in Luzardo, right? You don't bring him in to not start. So you bring in Luzardo, Sanchez. So you got Luzardo, Sanchez, Wheeler, Nola, Suarez. Then you got Painter, Abel. Then you got Taiwan Walker, right? These two
Mhm.
young guys, you got to get them at least into the playoffs. You got to give them starting reps. Taiwan Walker ain't been giving you much of nothing over the last 2 years. So he kind of just falls by the wayside, even though he's getting a lot of money. Now he's effective out of the bullpen,
Mhm.
right? But then you have Ranger, who seems to be struggling right now. And we don't know if he bounces back to the Ranger he was early last season. And he's on a contract year. I would see where it goes because if Rangers hurting you, he actually pitched well yesterday, right?
He did.
He
Last two
pitched pretty
starts have been
well.
pretty good. Last
He
two
pitched
starts,
well. We just this Philly just we can't score.
right?
But like I gotta balance that out because I think Taiwan is on the books for one more year after this, or is
Mhm.
this it?
No,
One
there's
more
one more
year,
year. One more year.
and then you got Ranger who is going to be up for a contract. They may move Ranger.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a good problem to have all these pitchers because it might be time to start thinking as far as our hitters between Castellanos and Schwarber and Harper, if you want to move one of those guys, um, and bring up some of the talent that you've been, gloating about. Painter, they said is this will be the first time now he's going to work up to 2 starts a week because he's still recovering from the Tommy John that he had last year. So he's still working himself um, full time starter shape, and so far everything's been, he's been back to all star form just about. Uh, but I think you may want to look to try to maybe move Walker, eat up some of his salary, get rid of him off the books. Maybe Ranger because he's younger, you can get something of value for him. I would seriously entertain moving Turner to center, like you suggested. Finding a shortstop. Finding a good defensive shortstop. Because again, I don't. They talk about this one kid, Aiden Miller, who's supposed to be. He was supposed to be this air. This. He was supposed to actually be better than Alec Bone, but he wound up being a better hitter. But now I think he started to tear it up in the minor leagues.
But
Um,
I thought is Aiden Miller also a shortstop? Does he play shortstop as
yeah,
well?
so he's been playing between third and short, but they like him at shortstop, and I believe they're trying to make him become some sort of heir apparent to whatever's at short now. So I think that's probably what the move is because you know how the Phillies slow walk their talent.
Yeah,
They want
it's
to
all
wait till a
physical.
certain age to get them paid and da 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 da. So hopefully they don't wait too long and this turns into another Dominic Brown. But
Yeah, they always wait too long. I mean, they honestly, to me, for the team that won in '08, they
mhm.
waited too long on those guys.
Yeah, and then
Steve Utley, from what I've been told, was ready 3 years before he came up.
right, same thing with Howard, same thing with Jimmy. Yep.
And then by the
Um,
time they were able to make it happen, they were kind of too old.
mhm.
Like that window was that far open at that point when they
Mhm.
won. when they won. Um, real quick before we get into the videos, NBA Finals. Oh, I just thought about something else, but I'll mention it in a minute. NBA Finals are tied up 2 game. I'm sure one. I could speak. NBA Finals are tied up at 1 game apiece.
Who's in it this year? Is it the Celtics and Lakers?
Yeah, but in reverse. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Indiana Pacers. That's,
Doesn't
that's what you got
sound,
right there.
that doesn't sound
Um,
at all.
you said what?
That doesn't sound exciting at all. I'm sorry.
It doesn't, right? But remember a couple weeks ago, Miguel. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. A couple weeks ago, I read something to you that. Here we go. Where we at? 1, 2. I feel like it was more, but there's two Olympians on
Oh,
the Thunder.
yeah.
Two Canadian Olympians. There is one American Olympian on the United States. I mean, on Indiana, and he's the one that really didn't get any playing time during the Olympics. Okay.
Mm.
And there is a Canadian Olympian on the Indiana Pacers. So there's 3 Canadian Olympians in the NBA Finals. How about that?
Okay.
How about that? I just think that's interesting.
It is.
3 Canadians, 1 American.
That is definitely.
And why am I harping on it? Because the NBA needs to change their All-Star format since they changed it from East-West. Excuse me. They changed it from East-West, and they made the trade deadline before the All-Star game. So that kind of messed things up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the NBA is. I think Charles Barkley may have said this. The NBA might be afraid to do the format of the United States versus the world as their All-Star game, as their All-Star weekend. Would you be interested in watching that NBA All-Star weekend, United States players against the best international players?
Oh yeah,
you'd be interested in that, right?
I think so. Absolutely.
Because then it gives the game some meaning, right? Because the United States, they're not going to want to lose to an international team on their own floor. They're not going to want to do that. And the national guy's going to want to say, look, we are here. And we're better than you, and we want to prove it. There was a statistic there. I forgot. Oh man, I had it all ready for the previous shows, but I forgot the number. But the last, at least maybe 10 at least NBA MVPs have been foreign-born players. I'll have to find that stat, but I think that's interesting. A majority of the last MVPs over the last 10 to 20 years have been foreign-born players. So something else that made me think of, the NBA became such a global game after the 92 Olympics, Dream Team, everybody saw the greatest players. Could football become a global game after these Olympics in 2028 when they introduce flag football to the Olympics? Do you think Olympics could become a global game like basketball is?
I definitely think, especially since flag football is going to be in the 28 Olympics, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's the perfect time for it. I absolutely. It is definitely the perfect time for it, and I'm hopeful. I mean, the only downside to it is that I know people have been joking for years that the NFL is going to turn into flag football, and I think it's funny that flag football is going to be in the Olympics before NFL football.
How about that? I find that interesting because football, I don't know how long flag football has been around, right? Maybe before regular, I don't know. But we know football with pads and the helmet have been around for 100 years. And that was plenty of time for the world to be introduced to football. But flag football is being played all over the world as opposed to gridiron football. I find that very interesting. And one more thing I wanted to say before we got to our images and our videos. Did you happen to watch any of last night's Stanley Cup final game?
I did not. I was in the bed on my third cup of NyQuil and my third shot.
That's fair. That is fair. I just so happened to just turn it on. I was looking for something. There was no NBA game on. I didn't realize the College World Series game was on. So I said, let me look at what's happening in the in the Stanley Cup Finals. Right, Edmonton
Mm,
Oilers, Florida Panthers. I turn on the game. The Florida Panthers are up 5-1 in the third period. Right,
mm,
and for those who may not know, hockey is 3 periods. They don't do full court; they do 3 periods. Okay. So I turn this game on. There might be 9 minutes or something left in the third period. The score is 5-1. Florida's whooping them. Miguel, something happened on this side of the screen over here, like score or whistle, something happened. But then on the crowd, I just see everybody stand up and start pointing. So then the camera goes over, and this dude is, I think they call it cross checking the dude in the back, whatever, right? And all of a sudden they start fighting. Boom, 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 when they start fighting. Next thing I know, everybody on the ice fighting except for the goalies. All fight. Now, one thing I do remember from the days when I would watch hockey, you don't fight much in the playoffs.
not
You want to
much,
keep all
but
your people on the ice. You don't fight much in the playoffs.
mm,
But I guess if you're getting beat 5-1, that game's over in your head. And you just want to fight somebody, right?
right.
Because I'm making a long story short. I watched them fight probably 7 times in that last 9 minutes of hockey, 9.5 minutes. They probably fought about 7 times. And I'm not talking about just one-on-one. Not all of them were one-on-one. Some of them were
Yeah.
3. I see 2 people on top of one other guy. Like it was funny to me, man.
There's a Stanley Cup that you should watch. It was, I think, 2013, 2014, but it was the Boston Bruins versus the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver had the advantage. They were actually up in this series, I think, 2-1. They go to Boston, or they were up 2-0. I think they go to Boston. And I remember there was a really bad cross check. Guy gets cross checked in the head, blindsided. Head hits the ice. He's out cold, right? And you can hear the frenzy amongst the fans. They're showing the replay of it. It was a cheap shot. The guy wound up getting ejected, and they were already down, I think, like 3-0. And you want to talk about like awaking, like poking the lion. Not only did they like come back at this team and like start like beating the piss out of them, and they came back and I think they won like 5-3. But all the goals were unanswered, and I think they woke them up to the point where they won 3 straight. It went to a 7th game, and then I think the Boston wound up winning the Stanley Cup. But had it not been for that hit, Boston would have probably been swept. But that's why I like playoff hockey. I think out of all the playoff games, I think playoff sports in general is great. It's a great watch. But playoff hockey, man, there's something intense about it. I can't explain it. It's a great watch. Hockey's the only playoff sport that I can watch and not care who's playing. Baseball's a close second, but I think hockey's like, it grabs my attention. I mean, yeah.
Here's what I'll say about that. I'm trying not to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I don't watch hockey like I used to. There's a net in here. Okay. I don't watch hockey like I used to. I probably only watch it when the Flyers are good or when it's the playoffs or the Stanley Cup. It doesn't keep me locked in like I watch a whole game in the playoffs. But here's what I will say. And probably for most people, it doesn't equate, right? And this is just for me. For me, there's nothing like watching like an elimination soccer match, like World Cup soccer match.
Those are pretty intense.
They get really intense. They get really intense. And there was a time where I could not watch hockey. I mean, excuse me, soccer on TV.
Mhm.
But I was forced to watch it when I was working, the sports broadcast. So I was forced to watch it, and then I was doing the union games, and we just forced to watch it. Then you learn more about it. Like I played as a kid, but you don't know everything. So I learned more about it. I learned more about the players and all like that, and it made me. I was more interested in watching. Um, but yeah, that playoff hockey is intense, and but elimination soccer can be intense too. Yo, shout out to the women's college World Series too. That was from some intense softball.
Yo,
Some intense softball going on.
college softball, that's something to watch too. Not for obvious reasons, but
But
um
obviously,
just the it's the intensity of it. Like college baseball, college softball, like that it's just so intense. And you'll see with some of the clips, um, you know, how intense it was. And I don't know, is it me or does it seem like there's been a lot of like bench clearing, not brawls, but there's been a lot of like smash talking, benches clearing, at least in this particular college World Series, college
yeah,
playoff.
everybody thinks they're tough. Everybody thinks they're tough. They don't really want to do nothing. They get up because they have to. Like you
Until they
can't be
start until they start throwing punches and then they look like
right. Like you're not really mad. You just want to get up and talk your smack and stuff like that. But you can't be the guy on the bench that doesn't get up. Like you can't be that guy that's like, I'm gonna just sit here. I ain't trying. You can't be that guy.
right.
Unfortunately, you just can't. But if and I hate to say this out, like I hate to say this like this, but I said this yesterday to somebody about hockey. I'm not gonna fight fair. Like I'm just not. I'm not gonna fight fair. Like fighting is fighting. Like hockey, fighting is part of the game, but like to me, fighting is fighting.
What are you gonna
And
do? Like bite, like jab his eyes, or like bite his nose? What are you gonna do?
I, I've never done that before in a fight, but if I gotta do that to win the fight, I'm right. Like, come on, like fighting is fighting.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
so the only difference, there's only one slight difference to me. Fighting is fighting, boxing is boxing.
Touche.
Okay. Fighting is fighting, boxing is boxing. It's two different things. Not all fighters can box, not all boxers can fight. Most fighters can't box, but
Right.
not all boxers can fight. And when you know what I mean. If I'm talking about
But
fighting,
if it's
everything's a weapon.
but if it's a boxer versus a fighter, who do you got?
When you say a fighter, you just mean some regular Joe Schmo, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like because most fighters are Joe Schmoes.
So if you're just talking about a Joe Schmo, I'm taking the boxer because the boxer will probably know how to catch you. But if you're taking it, if you want to tell me, if you want to ask me a
Like not
boxer
like
versus a MMA
no.
fighter,
Yeah, that's
I'm
not.
taking the MMA fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're trained to take punches. Yeah, so yeah.
Right. And fight in various ways as well.
Mhm.
Boxers fight on their feet, hands. That's it. You know, MMA fighters and mixed martial artists, they different styles of fighting. They can box with you. They learn that. They kickbox, Muay Thai, BBJ, all that stuff. And they fight on the ground. They use their knees, use their feet, use their elbows. It's different. It's just
That's
different.
what I that's what I used on my last date.
Hey, well, hey, whatever
Um,
floats your boat to find your lost remote. You know how it
I'm
is.
joking. I'm joking.
He's not, but okay.
I'm joking.
All right, so let's get to some of these images. Because we know Saquon was on the cover of Madden coming up, right? We all know that, right? That's not
So
just not
how many of us, as soon as we heard he was on the cover of Madden, said that means he's going to tear both of his ACLs?
well, I didn't go that far. I didn't
It's
go
going
that
to be
far.
a season-ending injury. The Madden How many people who've been on the Madden cover have not been injured? Like 3.
No, actually, within the last, I want to say the last 7 to 10 years, that Madden curse has been like null and void.
All right, I'll have to check my Madden
I feel
coverage.
like it was after they not when they put Madden on the cover when he passed. I feel like there was another time they put Madden on the cover, and then it kind of after that guys didn't get hurt. But we had to look into that. It hasn't. It's been a few years in a row. But anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. But yeah, I was like, oh man, I did say, oh man, he gonna get hurt now.
I
I
know.
did say that. And I was like, oh. I think I was talking to someone on the phone. I was like, oh man, Saquon's on the cover of Madden. Oh
Mhm.
damn. I did. My mind did go right to it. So,
Right.
but that's dope for him. That's dope for him. Like everybody wants to be on the cover of Madden as a football player. So, um,
Did you see the launch? It was at Geno Steaks.
I did not. I saw that they were going to do all that at Geno's, but I didn't see the actual event.
I wish they would stop promoting Geno Steaks as like the moniker for Philly cheesesteaks.
I know.
You and I, who are born and raised in Philadelphia, know that Geno's and Pat Steaks are trash,
Yo,
garbage.
so I didn't even have a steak from Geno's or Pass until my 20s. No, maybe like late teen, maybe like 19, but like probably my 20s, right? And I was
I
just like, this is what
Yeah, I think cheese whiz to me is cheese diarrhea. I don't know whoever invented cheese whiz needs to be shot and just like or just go to jail for a long time for crimes against humanity.
your goose ass
Absolute
trash.
garbage. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I also I'm not trying to dog Geno's and Pat's, but they're tourist spots, right? I
I'm
went to
dogging
Pat's
cheese
one
whiz and
time.
past
I
crack.
wasn't really feeling Pat's like that either. I just I read. You know what? None of these cheesesteak spots are paying us, but there is one spot that I would rather go to above all those spots, and I'll just say they had one in West Philly, they had one in South Street, they had one in Springfield. The one in West Philly is no longer what it is, but it ain't. But I'll just leave it at that. That's where I like to go. That's just my personal thing. That's where I like to go. So but there were some covers that you did some digging and you found some covers that they were going to use, but I guess in the process they got eliminated. You want to share some of those with us?
Sure. How about this first one, which I think would have been perfect for the Madden cover?
Yeah, I mean
No,
Patrick Mahomes.
and
I'm
no,
sure
you.
he's been
I
on
mean,
Madden, front of Madden before. Yeah,
you can't really make out everybody's face. Maybe this was a different version of Patrick Mahomes. This one I actually think was real cool because I think this is one of the coolest shots of the Super Bowl. I just love
yeah,
the I
yeah,
just think
man.
it's just cool. Um for my whoever
Unfortunately, they just couldn't put him on there smoking a cigar.
why because they got to change the rating.
No, I just don't think you just can't. You can't put that on. Well, man, you can't
But
really sell it. Let's put it this way: Nintendo probably would have to have a different cover.
screw Nintendo. But speaking on that, that's the reason why there's no brawls in MLB the show because they would have to change it from mild violence, and that changes the rating of the game. That's why you don't see brawls in the show.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about it not being in there.
yeah.
My man.
I like the free Bible inside. I think that's a real you know good choice, dude. This guy's hilarious though. You see him do the
Famous
interview.
James, man. Famous James.
You see him do the interview when he was interviewing the teams at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Asking, who should I play for? Who should I play for?
Yo, famous James, man. He's a star. I've said in conversation that they should change the Hall of Fame to the Hall of Great, and then have a Hall of Fame of guys that are just famous players,
Right.
right? Like Michael Vick may not get into the Hall of Fame, but he was a very famous player. He's a Hall of Fame name.
Would you put Cam Newton there, even though he dresses like somebody's grandma?
When I put Cam in the Hall,
In your Hall of Great.
My Hall of Great,
Yeah.
and the Hall of Great being what the Hall of Fame is right now.
No, your Hall of Great.
So to my Hall of Great, yeah, Cam is in my Hall of Great.
Okay.
But what I just want you to understand, like my Hall of Great is what the Hall of Fame is now.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And then Hall of Fame would just be famous people. So Cam would be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, you would rebrand it. I got you. I
Yeah,
see. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of great players and they're in the Hall of Fame, but then there's a lot of famous players that, like Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's a famous player, but he was a career backup. But everybody knows him. I mean, he's got commercials. How many
Kurt Warner.
backup quarterbacks have commercials
Yeah.
where they're the main thing in the commercial? Just don't happen. Rodney Peete didn't have a commercial where he was the main thing,
Nobody had a nice wife.
and she was the main thing
Hmm.
everywhere they went.
Yeah.
I like this one, but they can't sell this one
Why not? I don't see why not.
because you can't sell kids a video game and promote reading a book because then they'll never play the game.
Gotcha.
they'll
True. True. This is
they'll just read the book.
this next one's a kudo. I didn't realize it's subconscious, but I guess it's a kudos to the Commodores fans down in DC.
Oh no! There you go. So let's explain this because some people may not even realize what this is. Okay.
So this is the infamous Hail Mary Bears versus Commodores. And this was actually during the snap, not before the snap or after the snap.
Because as you see the people running,
the people running, the play is now going off, and my man down there has already claimed victory. But little does he know that about in the next 7.5 seconds, victory will not be his.
yeah, and honestly, when you think about it, I think this game changed the season for both of these teams.
Yes,
That play changed the season for both of these teams.
absolutely.
Because the Bears were doing well
Mm-hmm.
until this game. And Washington was kind of figuring it out after this game. They just kind of took off.
Mm-hmm.
They took off. So, whew, yeah.
Now,
he got a Big Dummy Award, didn't he?
yes, he did. Yes, he got a
Big Dummy Award for that. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him, Big Dummy. These last two would probably change the game rating, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that was and that picture was the day after the police arrested him. I mean, not the same day the police arrested him.
Same day.
He was on his way to the stadium.
Because I remember watching that highlight. I'm like, what the hell was that about? And then they showed the video of him with the police.
Of him getting arrested that morning.
Mm-hmm.
That morning. And then they played on it and whatever. You could go ahead and look up the story on your own. You can see.
Right. And the last
next
one,
Madden cover.
Yeah, it's a cheap shot. Okay.
Oh boy.
It's a cheap shot. I but in the interest of entertainment, I don't know. I don't know what makes this worse. The staring intently at the person looking at the cover, the rating for P for predators, or the fact
didn't see that.
the free
I didn't
gift,
see that.
the free gift of the oil, or the fact that they're all wearing white robes. I don't know what's worse.
Hold on. Did you see this? Madden 26 cases?
Yes,
I did. See that?
Yes.
Wow. So that's Justin Tucker. Miguel had to point that out to me. That's Justin Tucker, the former Ravens kicker, P. Diddy, and Deshaun Watson, who is still a Cleveland Browns quarterback.
Yes.
They got like 6 quarterbacks right now. Crazy.
Including Shooter Sanders.
They drafted 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
And they still have Joe Flacco. Good Lord, what are they doing? It don't matter. I'm not a fan of Cleveland Browns, so it don't matter. It don't matter. All right. So are we going to my videos now?
Yeah, yours.
Okay. So I should have actually opened these before the show started, like I usually do. But players mess up. So this video, I just thought this was a great catch. I just thought this was a great catch.
Great.
What is it? Blue Jays and Red Sox, I believe it is. Blue Jays and Red Sox. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, this was great.
So check this out, y'all. Wait, where's my sound? Doggone, I never put up the sound. There we go.
Seems to normally have. Here's a drive to deep center. Varsho back. And did he catch that ball? Yes. He caught that ball. I mean, Dalton, we know you want backspin that he.
Let's watch it again.
Seems to normally have. Here's a drive.
He goes back there, trips and falls, spins around.
And did he catch that ball? Yes.
And just what a catch.
Kudos to the concentration.
What a catch. All right, we go from that catch to this catch. That let me see. Can I make this
You call this lucky?
This is probably one of the luckiest catches you may ever see. And let me go ahead and get this thing popping for y'all. So this might be one of the luckiest catches you may ever see. Okay. Oh, let me turn the sound on. I don't know what that noise was, but here we go. I don't know what that noise was, but here we go. Pop up. No.
Look what I
play it
found.
Again. You want to play it again for those that may not have saw what actually. Here we go. Pop it up. Catcher doesn't see it. The ball lands right there. Funny thing is, I kind of want to see it one more time. I want to judge something real quick. Here's the coaching, man. I'm sorry. Let me see something. That's what I thought. You know what I'm thinking about, Coach?
What?
If she didn't catch it, it would have been a foul ball anyway. It'd have been a foul ball anyway.
Yeah.
What is that noise?
If it's any consolation, I don't hear anything on my end. I don't hear any other noise.
Okay, I'm trying to get out of this video. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so I have one more video in my thing, and it's one more amazing catch. And let me hold on, because I didn't prepare myself prior to the show. You would think I would have learned by now, and of course, this is like extremely. I hope you guys are able to see this. Oops, hit the wrong button here. I hope you guys are able to see this. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see this.
What?
Let me see. Let me try to put it over here. You might be able to see it here. Let's see what we got. So here we go. Video's up top. Here we go. Yet another amazing catch.
And this one to center field. Denzel Clark on the move back after he stepped.
Oh my God!
He makes another catch.
Oh my God!
Back-to-back weeks where he wins the electric play of the week, and he's already on the leaderboard for this week.
You go ahead and book it. I've heard the list. I've seen the list of the greatest catches you're ever going to see in your life. If you don't have room for this one on your list, we're watching two different sports. I mean, Denzel Clark climbs the ladder and then hangs out. You want to talk about playing above the rim, folks. This ball is out of the ballpark by 5-6 feet. And Denzel says, nay, nay, give me that back.
Can we talk about his first step being in?
Listen. So anybody that's watching this show that has never played baseball cannot really they can't really understand how difficult and amazing, maybe they can, but really how hard it is to make a catch like that. Like, even if you only played high school ball, right? Or even if you played college ball. And why the reason I'm saying is because the perception of the ball when you're looking at the ball in the air, judging it off the stadium background, sky background, whatever it is, that's a difficult read. And to be able to run backwards, climb up a wall, stretch yourself out to where you know exactly where you need to be and catch that ball. That was amazing. That was an amazing catch. That might have been the most amazing outfield catch I've ever seen in my life. And that includes Bo running up the wall. Because Bo caught the ball and then ran up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think too of like all of the Ken Griffey plays. You know, the one where he catches.
He made some great ones.
He made some great ones.
Snatch him off.
And I think what makes it more. I mean, he's big. Denzel Clark is a big dude. He's 6'5". So I'm trying to think, you know, if it was anybody else that could have even come close to making that catch, but
probably not.
But still, he was literally almost over the wall and like hung out on the wall for like a second and a half and then came
Yes,
down.
he did.
So
yes, he did. Amazing.
It was amazing.
Amazing catch.
Yeah, and that was that happened over the weekend, didn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. Or was it last night?
I think it was last night.
Might have been last night. And one more thing about that you may not have caught. The announcer said the first step that he took was in. And as coaches, we've said it a million times. Outfielders, the ball gets hit, and your first step is back. Even if you have to go in on the ball, your first step is always back.
Easier adjustment.
They said his first step was in, and then he had to recover. Wow. All right. So you have some stuff that we're going to be going through.
Yeah, just real quick, because it just seems like there's all these ambiguous rules now to baseball. Okay. Like, what is interference? What is malicious intent? What is safe? What is out? What is fair? What is foul? It just seems like basic things are just like they're just turning into something that doesn't even need to be anything. So there's a couple of plays that were considered malicious, and I'll just let you be the judge of it. The first one is from an Oregon Ducks game from a couple weeks ago, and another one is from a junior college game. And you tell me if there was any malice or any ill intent or interference on these plays. So I'll start with the first play from Oregon.
Shallow left. Jimmy DeAnda coming in. Makes the catch, tagging. Antonero's trying to score. Throw to the plate. And it gets through the catcher, Mason Strong, who gets buried by Antonero's. And he comes back to touch the plate. Going to second is Maloney. It's 6-5 out of his first base dugout.
Now, the one thing I'll say is, like, what? 5 years ago, neither conversation would have taken place. Guy dropped the ball, he's safe. You know what I mean?
And we're going to get another look at it. Was there malicious contact?
So there's usually what do they say? Is it obstruction? Are you blocking the play? Then is there malicious contact? So I think the debate here is malice. Was there malice on this play?
I would agree with you, Roxy.
So here's my initial reaction to it is this. There was with not knowing exactly what the rule is. Let me put it like that. But not knowing exactly what the letter of the rule is. Was there malice, and did it look like malice intent by the runner, by the base runner? It looked like it to me. Because even as a base runner, when you know the play is close, And like I said, I don't know the rules, so if there's something different, you correct me. You got to slide. Like I don't know if that's I know that's the rule in the younger age. I don't know if that's the college rule or not.
Mm.
But also, when I'm looking at the catcher, to me, the way I think of it is, that since they changed things up, you can't be obstructing the plate for the runner.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ball. That's what I thought it was, but I think you may have some better insight for me.
So the two rules are: was there obstruction? But it doesn't matter because he dropped the ball. So now the issue is: was there ill intent on the slide? But to me, it's like if the ball is already dropped and you've determined that he wasn't attempting to block the plate, I don't think it was malintent, because when he was sliding, he was sliding with his elbows in, but not coming up trying to crash over the catcher. Like that's you know what I mean? Like he didn't come in shoulder bearing.
Right. He didn't lead with his shoulder. He came in elbows in, but he was coming down on the catcher.
Right, but it's a slide into the catcher. Like I don't know. To me,
but it was never a slide though.
Well, let's see. Slide
never happened.
Let's see what the umpires say.
All right.
So the runner at first base returns to first base.
And out clear possession of the ball, which Strong did not have. He was reaching for the throw from DeAnda.
Defensive player cannot block a base without clear possession.
Video review. The catch in the outfield results in out number 1. The play at the plate, there's no obstruction. But the contact was malicious, resulting in an out and an ejection of number 77.
So
the runner at first base returns to first base.
And Mark Wasikowski going ballistic, coming out of the first base dugout.
So here's the other heartbreaking thing about it, is that not only is he out of the game, but he actually is not allowed to play the next game. So This was a game that would allow them, I think, to advance to the next round, and he can't play. Because of the malintent. So again, I don't know.
All right. But what I read there in the beginning of the video, a player cannot block the base without clear possession of the ball. As far as that's what it says. That's what we have on the screen.
Right, but it's a timing thing, because the ball was being thrown and he's already on the base, right? But the ball skimmed off. So was he blocking the?
But let me just say that he was there before the ball. He was already there. Mm-hmm. He was there before the ball hit his glove, because he was there waiting for. He didn't step. He was waiting for the ball right there in front of the plate.
I got you.
He was obstructing it, in my opinion.
Well, I think because he dropped the ball, that's probably why they didn't rule it obstruction. Because the slide happened after the ball was dropped.
Right, I get that, but I'm saying he was obstruction happens before he has the ball.
So you think that if he catches the ball, tags him out, then it would have been obstruction?
The way from what I'm looking at, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say yes, but from what I'm looking at on the screen, defensive player cannot block a base without clear possession of the ball. When we're looking at that video, he's waiting for the ball to come in. No, he doesn't catch it, but he's waiting for it to come in, but he's still blocking the plate as he's waiting for it to come in.
In the air, shallow left. Jimmy
now, when they show it from like overhead, you can pause it, because he right there. He doesn't have the ball, and he's blocking the plate.
I got you.
So that to me, that's obstruction. Unless I just don't understand that rule. That's obstruction to me.
So now let's look at the slide. Is that a late slide?
No.
For malintent? And then
It's
I guess
not a late slide because you know why it looks like a late slide? Because he's so far up in front of the plate.
which again is true.
He's so far up in front of the plate that it looks like it's a late slide, but it's actually not a late slide. He just never gets into the slide.
Right. But this is where I have with the problem with the malicious intent. Even with him trying to slide, his arms are out, but he's trying to brace himself and the catcher, in my opinion. Even in the follow through, let me go back. Even in the follow through, like I think that's like a normal, natural motion for him to follow through like that. But it wasn't like a full, like bulldozing motion. To me, it didn't look like it was ill intent.
No, so I take that. It doesn't seem like ill intent to me. But here's what I wonder, and there's no way we'll never know. Here's what I wonder: if he at that point before he tries to slide, if he acts like he tries to get around the catcher, being that the catcher didn't catch the ball, would they have called it obstruction then?
Probably. I don't think
it's not obstruction once the ball is in possession. It's not obstruction.
Right. But do you see my issue? You see my issue with like this is the discussion that has to be had on this type of play now, and that's the problem that I have. And then here's another quote unquote maliciously intended slide.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that was malicious. That was malicious.
You think so?
Yeah. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to assume based on I don't know if this is a college or a high school game, right? But I'm going to assume that this kid knows how to play and has been playing for a while based on the gear he has on. I know it don't mean nothing. Based on the gear he has on, based on his batting stance, based on how he hit that ball, I'm assuming he played for a while. That knee touches the ground at the base. Anybody that's sliding that knows how to play is not sliding that late unless you're trying to take somebody out.
So here's that obstruction thing again. If he's not supposed to be blocking the base, then that's obstruction.
All right, let's go back. Let's see. He had the ball.
Did he though?
He dropped it after the collision, but he had the ball. He has it right there. Now he put his knee down. He did put his knee down in front of it, but he had the ball. Now, in Major League rules this year, you can't do that.
I know that's what bothers me.
You can't do that this year, but this is not Major League ball. That is not obstruction. That's a malicious slide. Like we've seen people slide late that didn't have malicious intent. They just didn't know how to slide.
Right.
I'm assuming this kid has played ball for an enough amount of time to know when he's supposed to slide.
Right.
He knew he was meat.
So on the theme of malicious intent and also being stupid, here's a clip that would be qualified for big dummy. And I'm sorry, but it's one of Baltimore's own.
Yeah.
It's actually called the bench.
You see, he clearly runs in.
Look at that.
That's
Come on.
way out of the line. That's a couple of steps on that infield grass. You can see Sosa saying, "What are you doing?"
Oh, and then Mayo pushes Sosa. Rojas says, White Sox sticking up for each other.
Yeah, boys are getting a little hot on the day game here in Charm City.
Baltimore, Chicago.
All right.
Little Saturday in the park here at Camden Yards. Tempers flaring.
I don't think you can be that much of a prick in an all orange uniform. I'm sorry, you look like an oversized tangerine.
So a couple things that stood out to me. Okay, there's really no reason for the altercation in the first place. To me, my man Sosa on the on the White Sox, started that. He initiated that, in my opinion.
Wait,
Yes, he initiated it. We know what my man from Baltimore was trying. He wasn't trying to start a fight. He was doing something stupid, trying to get an interference call because he knew he was going to be out. But what was the reason for Sosa to keep walking up to him? And what was the reason for that?
but
There was
he
no
went,
reason.
but this dude went so far out of the baseline. Like, it's one thing if he stopped here and did what he did, okay, fine. But he literally comes like 5 feet out. That's dumb.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. When he makes contact with him, both his feet are still in the dirt.
Oh, stop it.
Go ahead.
Stop it.
He hasn't touched the grass yet.
But look how far this dude is.
I mean, I get it. It's stupid. Don't get me wrong. It's dumb.
And technically, the baseline
He's trying to get a technicality here. He's trying to find a loophole.
The baseline is here. This is the baseline.
I can't see what you know.
Oh, all right. So right where number 20's butthole is. That's where the baseline is. Okay.
And you're allowed 3 feet both ways.
Yeah,
right.
Allegedly.
And technically, right now, is he out of the baseline or is he still in the baseline?
His upper body is just him doing what he did. It just garnered an ejection.
Runs in.
That's not my argument. It was the dumbest thing in the world. My thing is Sosa. Watch Sosa. All right, boom. All right. I was like, what is he doing? That was stupid. What is he doing?
But he came up elbows up, like as if to push him.
Okay, well let it ride. Let it ride. I'll give you that.
Runs in.
Like he's put.
But it's not like he. All right. Pause it. It's not like he stepped into him and gave him the.
Yes, he did.
The hits.
That's exactly what he did.
Sosa barely moved. Sosa barely moved from the contact.
Sosa barely moved because he's in shape. The Mayo is the minor league.
Use your eyes on this one, man.
I got all four of them. What are you talking about?
Use your eyes on him. So,
you see, he clearly.
First of all, I'm not arguing that what he did is smart or anything. What he did was idiotic, right? He's obviously looking for a loophole here of trying to get an interference call.
Bush League.
Yes. Bush League, yes. Now, let it ride. Okay.
That's a couple of steps on that infield grass. You can see Sosa saying, what are you doing?
All right, boom. Now, leave it alone right there, Sosa. Leave it alone. Oh, okay, now he pushes. Now he shouldn't have did that. Okay. But what was Sosa? He should not have put his hands on him. Okay, so I'll give you that. He shouldn't have put his hands on him and all like that.
Sticking up for each other.
Yeah,
but what was Sosa doing? He got called out. What's Sosa doing? What's he doing?
You know what the moral of the story is?
Don't do dumb stuff and don't wear all orange uniforms that make people's TVs make noise because they got old TVs.
That and he got sent down to the minors.
Did he after that?
Yeah. Yes.
I bet he did. That dumb mess you gonna do.
Lord.
And here's the other thing I was thinking about. The bullpen was out in the outfield, right? Let's just say center field. Whatever. Both bullpens are running down to the altercation next to each other. Why don't the bullpens just go outside the bullpen and rumble right out there?
But you know what though? they
If
do that.
they were really about it.
They do that because they know pitchers can't fight.
Don't tell Nola Ryan that. Or don't tell Robin Ventura that.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan tagged him up.
Sure did.
Nolan Ryan. What you got? What else you got for us? Because I know you're going to stump me today.
Let me see. Let me do one a dummy and a damn. Let's do George Springer. How about this? We'll go pro.
And keeps the tag on him, and I got to believe that George Springer is going to be called out after kind of bouncing on third base. Watch here. Oh, yeah. He's out.
Call at third base. After review, the call in the field is overturned.
Yep.
He is out.
Yes.
The run will score.
So the run scored. A's coming in. They're going to try and answer back in the top of the sixth.
The A's been on a good roll on our show today.
Mm-hmm.
A's been on a good roll. What else you got? I think you got a couple more things for us. I know you do.
Let's see. This one is
saving for later.
This is no. We can do them all. This one's a damn, just for the simple fact that, well, damn.
Drive to right field. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is gone. There's a cruise missile. Wow. That got out of here in no time. A bomb. 122.9 miles an hour.
I was going to say that had to be the hardest ball.
Wow.
There's no doubt that ball had to land 50 feet in the river.
Let's make it 123 for his 11th home run of the season.
Not surprised. I was surprised he threw him a first pitch fastball up. Hate to say it, but I was thinking O'Neal Cruz, if he looks up and gets a fastball.
Ooh, wait.
This one might be a little tough to watch, but also funny. Yeah, just this is the 2025 Miami Marlins.
Of the first inning, and Ryan Weathers was finishing his warm-up pitches around the horn, and the throw down to second, and it got him in the head on the throw from Fortes, and down he went. Just out of the blue. And boy, you got.
So, I mean, I know the catcher's going to feel bad. The catcher shouldn't feel bad. Keep your ass out the way. You know what's happening.
Yeah. Now this one, I think you'll laugh because I know your humor. Yeah, we'll see let's just see what happens. This is an Ohtani home run.
It was only his 11th home this year. But I don't think, like, watching it from up here, you have the Union 76 sign on top of the scoreboard out there. And I swear, from up here, it looked like he went higher than that. It was only his 11th home this year. But I don't think, like, watching it from up here, you have the Union 76 sign on top of the scoreboard out there. And I swear, from up here, it looked like he went higher than that.
Yo, all those hands. All those hands. Not one of them hands touched that ball.
Not even one.
Not one of Yeah, you were right. You were right.
And last but not least, I just want to give a shout out to my players. We're going to call them unlucky. Okay.
Okay.
This is my only PSA for stuff like this. For players that play for me and for future players, do not put your cell phone in the batting cage during batting practice. Because this is what can happen. Especially
why? All right. So, okay. So, all right. So you just sent me back to my coaching, my coach. Your phone should not be out on the field with you. Who are you calling? Your phone should not be out on the field with you. It should not. Why? It shouldn't be in your pocket. It shouldn't be on the. Where was it? Where was? No, I'm talking to you, Miguel. Where was it?
So, said player came into the batting cage. I believe I didn't actually see where. I just heard the aftermath. Is it broke? Yeah, it's broke. And I think one of the players hit the side and accidentally called 911. It was a thing. So I believe
911
that
come to the practice.
no. It was the SOS. And he's like, "Yo, you're calling 911." It was a funny fiasco.
Yeah, I actually did that in my sleep one time.
You called 911 in your sleep?
I think so. Like,
was it
the
that
phone
good?
was in my bed, and I guess you move out, and I think I was hitting stuff on it, I guess, with my hand, and all of a sudden I hear the phone ringing,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like the emergency button on it. I was like, oh, I hung up real quick. I was like, oh shit. I just hung up real quick. I just started listening for like sirens. I was scared. I'm scared to death.
Yeah, but we'll keep this player's name under condition of anonymity, but he may or may not belong to the Lindsley family. So yeah, that was after the protective.
Somebody said it's Gibby's fault.
Oh, Gibby's my assistant coach.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly. So yeah, so he's the most unlucky player of the week.
Yeah, that sucks. Damn. All right. Is it time to stump me?
It is time for the stumpage.
All right. Let me turn off the comments so I don't get told the answer before it's time. Let me take a sip of my water.
The alleged water.
It's water this time. High quality H2O.
Well, all right.
All right. So what do we have today? Is it a baseball player?
It is a baseball player. Let me get my screen up without the answer, please.
Your answer, please. Uh-oh. What is this man doing? What are you doing? Don't give Miguel the password, y'all. You want me to put the thing up for you?
Yeah, which icon is it? Damn it.
Oh, Lord. Hold on. Okay, here we go. It's the one that says add to stage right there.
See, it doesn't give me words. It doesn't give. I hit that one. That's the one that I hit. Whatever, figure it out.
2-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, and an ALCS MVP. Looks like he played for the Phillies in the middle of his career.
He played for the Phillies twice.
Played for the Phillies twice. Okay. So this is this not in order? Is this not in sequence? The jersey numbers?
Yeah, it's not in order.
Okay, so give me the teams in the order because I don't feel like guessing the same teams and I always get it wrong every time.
All right.
Because I have no idea who this is.
He played for the Detroit Tigers.
This is in sequential order?
Yes.
Okay.
He played for Detroit. No. I'm sorry. He played for St. Louis, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Miami. Cardinals, Tigers, Phillies, Marlins.
Jim Eisenreich?
No, we already got him.
Oh, we did Jim Eisenreich. Can you give me the time frame of the career?
2003 to like 15.
I was thinking complete wrong era. 2003 to 2015?
Mm-hmm.
2-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove. St. Louis, Detroit, Philly, and then the Marlins.
Mhm.
St. Louis, Detroit, Philly, and then the Marlins. St. Louis and Detroit. St. Louis, Detroit. Philly. You got me on this one. And would it be giving it away if I asked for the position?
No,
What position?
all of them.
Damn.
No. I take it back. All right. He was primarily with us. He was a second baseman and a third baseman, primarily second and third base. Or I'll take it back. The first time he was with us, he was on second. The second time he played third.
And in 2015, his career ended around 2015.
Around that time. Like I didn't even know he. So his last team was with the Florida Marlins, and I didn't know he played with the Marlins.
At 2003 to 2015, played for St. Louis, Detroit. Okay, who did he play for between his stints with the Phillies?
I want to say the Cardinals.
So was it?
So
did he played for the Cardinals twice as well?
No, he just had two different numbers.
So
two different numbers with the Cardinals, the 67-27. Two different numbers with the Phillies, 23-27.
But he played for the Phillies twice, two different times. You're saying?
Right. So he played. I believe he played first with. Let me get the order.
This is a tough one.
Because you don't usually ask for the order.
Because you don't usually give me people that played for the Phillies twice.
All right.
And if St. Louis was first team,
St. Louis was first, then Philadelphia, then Detroit, then Philadelphia again, and then Miami.
Damn. St. Louis, Philly, Detroit, Philly, and Miami. St. Louis, Philly, Detroit, Philly.
Don't focus so much on Miami because that was like his last year of his career.
It's not Gene Segura because he just retired. And he played for Seattle at one point. Wow. He's a two-time All-Star and a three-time. Was he an All-Star with the Phillies? He had to play for the Phillies when they.
He was an All-Star.
2003 to two. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. All right, 2003 to 2015, played for the Phillies twice. St. Louis, Detroit. St. Louis, Detroit.
He was an All-Star in his second stint with the Phillies, and the first time was in Detroit.
You know what? I don't know it. But I feel like I should.
I will say this: his name is fun to say.
It's not Juan Samuel.
That's not fun to say.
It is fun for me to say. I like saying it.
Mickey Morandini.
How about to say it's not Mickey Morandini?
No,
you gave me all types of wrong information.
You want to hear some of the wrong answers that were given on Instagram?
Yeah.
The first one was Go Birds. Someone said Jose Mesa, Lonnie Smith, Victorino, Jack Mehoff. These are quotes, okay? Mike Oxmall and Mikey Morandino, because they went to Frankfurt High School and can't spell. So
I am stuck on this one. Silver Slugger, ALCS MVP. So he was an ALCS MVP with Detroit.
Correct.
When the hell? Oh, that was under was that under Leland? Jim
Yep.
Leland?
Yep.
So that was
Maglio Ordonez and Verlander and all them guys. Scherzer.
who did we get from that team? Who did we pick up from that team?
Oh, I know who we got from that team.
Yeah, I know you do. It's the person that I'm trying to guess. Smart guy.
No, he went to Detroit, and we got Delman Young for him. And Delman Young is very famous here in Baltimore.
I think you got me on this one, man. Because
All right. So do I got you? Is the streak over?
Give me 30 more seconds.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of that time frame.
25.
It's not Maikel Franco because he went to Baltimore. I can't think of these second basemen. Because Chase Utley was the second baseman for the longest time.
Okay, you want me to give you a hint?
Yeah.
Who was the second baseman before Chase Utley?
Oh man.
15 seconds.
Oh no, you gotta give me more. Cause I'm trying to think. Cause Chase Utley, because there was like 3 years Chase Utley should have came up, and the person in front of Chase Utley was not as good as Chase Utley. Oh, who was it?
This is that person.
Oh, who was it?
Oh, it's right there. Say it with your chest. Go down deeper. The aorta.
Well, I keep wanting to say Kim Baptiste. It wasn't Kim Baptiste. It was
You said Kim Baptiste. I should slap you just for mentioning that.
I know.
It's
I
there.
know.
It's not Ricky Jordan. It's not Peter Cavilla. It's not.
No,
it's not Braulio Castillo.
I can't remember. Damn, who was playing second base? Because Jimmy was playing short.
12 seconds.
It was Jimmy was playing short, and he was. Who was it? Damn.
5 seconds.
6-4 play double play. 6-4-3. It was I can't remember who it was.
All right.
Maglio Ordonez. I don't.
I will put you out of your misery. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you to Placido Polanco.
Oh man, that's right. Oh man. Oh, Placido Polanco. Damn, I forgot about him.
Yeah, there was the reigning debate on whether Polanco would move over to third base to make way for Utley, and I think he pitched a fit a little bit before he finally came up, and then wound up coming back his second time around as the Phillies third baseman.
Man,
but it's funny because he came up. We got him in 2002. He played with us until 2005.
I'm gonna tell you what. You probably could have gave me a whole lot of hints. A whole lot of hints.
Like
and I
what?
don't think I got it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I completely forgot about Placido Polanco. Completely forgot about him. There's a Polanco in the league now that every time I see his name, I think about Placido Polanco, but I forget about him as a Philly completely. And
be honest.
I definitely don't remember him. I mean, I know he was on Detroit, but I don't remember him.
Right.
With Detroit. I remember him with St. Louis though.
Yeah. That's where he became kind of big time. And then we got him. It was a great move at the time, but then it's like, well, wait a minute, you got, because it was around the time where y'all said Jim Tomey and they were like playing Ryan Howard left field for some stupid reason.
Because they had Jim Tomey.
Yeah.
Well, you got me on that one. It's been a while.
The streak
is over. The streak is over. The streak is over. The streak is over. Ha ha ha. All right. We're going to get up out of here. Is that it? Are we done? Yeah, I guess we're done. We're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us. You got any last words before we get out of here?
Let me see. Go ahead and finish what you want to say, and then I'll add a.
And last thing I'm gonna say, I'm closing out the show.
Okay. Just a bit of advice for my hitters in this week's tournament.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of watching these lollygagging at bats that you guys are doing. You just don't even look like you want to be up at the plate. You guys are taking strikes, like this. Let me tell you something. When you get up to the plate and you're taking a strike, boom, that's what you do. And then you come out here, okay, give them a little something. Let them know that you're in the box. Put your foot in there, say hello to the catcher, and here we go. Right here. Take a strike, bang. Let them know that your hips were getting active, okay, even though you didn't swing at the pitch. All you guys doing this. Oh, here comes a curveball. Like a jerk. If I'm a pitcher and I see that, nah, I'm not intimidated. Get here. You see Shoto do the shuffle. He comes up here. Yeah. Come on, throw it there.
That's what you want to see out your guys this weekend.
Yes.
All right, dirtbags. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. That's what Coach wants. That's what Coach wants. I know some of them are on here too. So that's what he's looking for. That's what he's looking for. All right, look, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us for the Check Swing podcast with myself and of course the brains and brawn of the situation, Coach Santa. Make sure you share this link out. Oh no, don't do that to me. Make sure y'all share this link out with folks and let them know that y'all been watching the Check Swing podcast and maybe they should too. And make sure you hit the like button or the subscribe button and all that good stuff. But look, with that all being said, we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us. We'll talk to y'all next time. Check Swing Podcast. Peace, y'all.